Hello everyone and welcome to The Good Old Gamer, the channel where we cut through the marketing BS and figure out which new or old gaming technologies make the most sense for you. So what I want to talk to you guys about here today is the RX 6800 XT. There are tons of rumors going around out there, and well, I have some information on the back end that can validate and discredit some of these rumors. The biggest one is, can a $650 AMD graphics card beat Nvidia's $1,500 RTX 3090 flagship? And yeah, it's looking like that might be a thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. So guys, if you noticed, I haven't done a video in a little while. My wife had surgery and she was kind of out of commission for a while. So that pretty much put me in charge of taking care of our son, which we had just a month previous. So I've been kind of busy with that. I really want to thank everybody for your support, for your prayers. Really appreciate all of that. And if you guys want to help support the channel, please smash that like button. Since I haven't done a video in a while, YouTube is going to want to nerf this video. So by smashing that like button, leaving a comment in the comment section, that really lets them know that you like this type of content, and then they'll continue to promote it, and then we can continue to grow our little community here. Okay, so can AMD dethrone Nvidia for $650? There have been leaks and rumors out there of the 6800 XTs hitting 2.5 gigahertz. There's been some leaked benchmarks showing that it is faster, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, everything I'm hearing says that yes, this is a possibility. Now, we will know definitively tomorrow. Tomorrow's when all the reviews come out. I will not be doing a video tomorrow because videos on the same day with reviews always get nerfed. That's why I want to do this one here today. I have a pretty good idea where things are going to land. And like I said, the leaks out there pretty much paint the picture that we need. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this video here today. Plus, if you're interested in getting one of these, you're going to need to get it immediately. You can't wait for reviews if you want to get one of these this year. And that's the other thing that we're going to be mentioning here in just a little bit. But from everything I'm hearing, under certain games, under certain conditions, and sometimes with certain overclocks, yes, the 6800 XT will likely beat the 3090 in those areas. Now, I just want you to sit there and think about that for a second. Not only did none of us really thought that AMD could take the top crown. We figured the 3090 might be just a little bit too far. But not only is AMD probably going to match that, they're going to beat it. And they're probably going to beat it with a card that costs less than half the price. This is transformative. This is game-changing. Now, granted, I'm not a big fan of video cards being $650, but I'm certainly not a fan of them reaching up to about $1,500. And I think most of you guys would kind of agree with me there. So this kind of brings things back to reality. This will also force Nvidia to finally compete on not only price, but performance, because they're not going to have the performance crown, and they're actually going to be losing by a substantially cheaper card. Now, a lot of you are going to be going, well, what about the 3080? Well, the 3080 is going to be pretty solid, of course. It still is a good card, and it's priced reasonably. But you have to figure a card that's $50 cheaper. It's not only faster than that, it's as fast, if not faster, than its bigger brother. So Nvidia is going to have to shift that down. The 3080 cannot be sold for more than $599. It's only got 10 gigs of RAM. That's been the big complaint a lot of you guys have had out there. And with AMD having a 16 gigabyte card, which should technically last this entire generation, the PS5 and Xbox Series X generation, that makes that a far more attractive value just from that perspective. And then if it has the performance crown on top of that, there's no reason to buy an RTX 3080. Now, this leads us into the RTX 3080 Ti rumors. Now, we all knew this was going to happen. Nvidia had price gaps in between each of their cards, so they could shift things around, reposition stuff, and slot in new cards to compete with AMD. The problem is the GA102 die, which is the 3080 and 3090, really only goes so fast. It can only be as fast as a 3090. They really can't get much faster than that. We know clocking them higher doesn't really do a whole bunch and might actually lead to instability. Also, they draw way more power if they go any faster. So there's really no other room in the tank. So their only options are to compete on memory and features. And as we've talked about plenty of times, Nvidia does have a significant lead on the feature side. And Paul and I actually talk about that on the Techonomics podcast. Should be launching here today. So if you haven't checked that out, links are in the description below so you can check out the podcast channel. You can also get it on Spotify and wherever you like getting your podcasts. But Nvidia's feature set is rather impressive. So I would definitely give them the win on that front, at least at this point in time. AMD seems to be wanting to catch up on the performance front and then go ahead and worry about the features later. So they will eventually get there, I believe. They're just going to be maybe a couple of years behind Nvidia on that. So they do have the lead right now. So what about the RAM thing that I just mentioned? Well, AMD has 16 gigabytes for $650. What if a 3080 Ti comes out with 20, 22, or possibly 24 gigabytes? Most people believe that it'll still be a 320-bit bus and come in with 20 gigabytes of VRAM. This would technically give Nvidia an advantage on the VRAM side. So if they replaced the 3080 with the 3080 Ti at $699 with 20 gigabytes of VRAM, and I don't know, I honestly think that they'll take away all the performance gains of the 3090, or most of it. There's only 10% gap there. So let's say it's 5% faster than the 3080, 5% slower than the 3090. I mean, it's basically a 3090 killer at that point, because what are you spending, twice the money for 4 gigabytes of RAM? It basically makes that an irrelevant card. They have no other choice. Nvidia has to compete by delivering you more for significantly less than they want to. And then with the RX 6900 XT, AMD's basically in another league of its own. The 3090, like I said, it has no more headroom, so it can't catch up. So that card, when fully overclocked and tweaked and all of that stuff, will be far ahead of the RTX 3090. And that comes in only at $1,000. So realistically, I see the 3090 maybe just going away. I don't think it's a card that makes sense for Nvidia. If they come out with a 3080 Ti that's basically just as fast and has 20, maybe 22 gigabytes. I mentioned this in the podcast. Perhaps they go with the 352-bit bus again and use 22, somewhere in there. I don't know. But if they offer that card, there's no reason for the 3090 anymore at that point. They can re-release something as a Titan with Titan drivers, and they could charge $2,000 for that if they want to have like that Halo mega expensive card. But no gamers and no normal PC enthusiast is going to buy that. That's just for maybe semi-professionals out there. And that's fine. It's okay to offer those to people that can use it. But I want to circle back to how crazy it is that this is the situation that we're in. Not only just a few weeks ago where we're like, I don't know if AMD is going to compete. We're not entirely sure. They haven't really shown us anything in the past 7 years that they're really interested in it. And now I'm basically saying that Nvidia needs to look at the situation like Intel and go, we need to compete on price. And they have to compete on features and really kind of hammer that home. That's nuts, guys. We're talking about the market leader being pushed aside. Same thing with Zen 3. Zen 3 is just shoving Intel aside. Basically, AMD is taking over the leadership spots of both CPU and GPU, all within basically a 1-month time period. This is crazy to really think about. We're talking about a company that's 1/10 the size of Intel and 1/12 the size of Nvidia. But they are able to do this, and that's really impressive. Now, here's the downside. You're not going to be able to buy one of these. That is everything that I'm hearing. Paul did a video yesterday, and I spoke with Paul about this. And the numbers that he's getting are showing extremely limited stock. That'll make the RTX 30 series look like there was an abundance of them. So these are going to be extremely difficult to get, at least for a while. So anybody expecting to get these cards at launch, temper your expectations. You're probably not going to get them for about 6 months. I'd say the same thing to anybody waiting for a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. If you want any of this stuff, it's basically going to be a 6-month wait period. So the information that we're getting now, and we'll see the benchmarks, and it'll be nice to know where things land. You will be a fully informed consumer when they are going to be available, but don't expect getting one of these for the holiday season. Even if you're sitting there smashing F5, unless you're out there, and even if you are using bots, it's still not guaranteed that you're going to get one of these. So I want you to temper your expectations, but know that AMD will be taking the performance crown. You will be wanting the 6800 XT. Most enthusiasts are going to look at that and go, that's the new GTX 1080 Ti. That's the card to get. Nvidia might have some decent responses here in the future. They might have better availability since their cards launched a few months earlier. Once the 3080 Ti comes out, or if they drop the price of the 3080, that might be, compelling as well. So if the 3080 drops to $599 or maybe even $549, that might not be a bad option if it's available and you can actually get it. But in my opinion, the vast majority of enthusiast PC gamers that are in the know, they keep up with this stuff, they're going to want the 6800 XT. It's going to offer the best performance per dollar in the high-end range. It's going to be much more cost-effective than the 6900 XT. The 3090 was never a good value. We all knew that. That was always a waste of money, except for the VRAM thing. And like I said, here soon, that's not going to be an issue. Nvidia will offer more VRAM than AMD, but I still think that 16 gigabytes is going to be more than enough throughout this generation for the vast majority of users. Just my opinion. But I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Are you guys going to try to pick one of these up? Or are you just going to be like, nah, I'll stick with what I got for a few months, wait for the craziness to die down, and then pick one up when MSRP is actually a thing again? And I'm pretty sure that'll be end of Q1 next year. So, it's a few months. That kind of sucks. You do have to wait. But like I said, you'll be fully informed. We'll know for sure tomorrow how fast these things are. But like I said, from everything I'm hearing, the overclocks, yeah, that's a real thing. It runs cool. It runs quiet. And yes, under certain conditions, it does beat the 3090. Also, from what I'm hearing, ray tracing is kind of like this. But at the same time, it's very, very impressive. I think that's going to be one of the angles that AMD might surprise people on, is the ray tracing side. And that, to me, I think might actually get better in the future because obviously the consoles, that's what everybody's going to be developing for. I think their ray tracing will become the standard. But I think a lot of you guys will be impressed with that from what I'm hearing out there and from what the leaks are saying. But once again, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And if you liked the video, once again, smash that like button. Let YouTube know you like these type of videos, you like this type of content. Like I said, that really does help me out. And I really appreciate all you guys sticking with me through all of this. And like I said, thank you guys for all your well wishes. My wife's doing well. Thank you guys very much for that. But that's really all I have for you here today. And I will catch you guys in the next video.